what it's worth. So what I've come to understand, at least from some of these pilot spoiler matches, is that so we actually you mentioned in this case like the boots, right? The boots certainly, especially for Gem and Tam, will give them like extremely solid execution edge. Just because they're just so familiar with it, they can do so much with it. So that being said, there's probably not much they can do. So it does kind of seem like this route or this race is probably going to be heavily dominant based on the pilot's decisions, right? In this case, certainly, the old mantra is that the team usually that makes the fewest number of mistakes ends up kind of winning the victory. I mean, that's probably very very applicable, especially for this one. But in this case, like if your pilot can be basically more efficient, make fewer mistakes than the other team, like that is a significant advantage because your runner is probably not going to have much more room, or ability to kind of make up some time, right, over the other person without.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are in playoffs, not just playoffs, but round 2 of the playoffs. So all these teams very much so, even more so, proving they're right. So you really can't make any mistakes. They're just omega punishing. But we do have flippers now, and this is going to potentially get us Hobo, as well as Waterfall Fairy and the Zora Ledge, but we are going straight to Waterfall. So it looks like we're going to pick up 1, maybe 2 items in here.
Oh yeah. And yeah, go for it.
I was gonna say, like in Kefka, our tracker being awesome, like they are, as we see Mitz and Lamp appear. We have all of the crystals and pendants already marked in Clear Mouse. I don't know if you noticed, but Meyer and TR both are pendants.
Ooh, that is actually very interesting. Yeah. So I mean, especially I think as a pilot, maybe seeing this, it's a little bit less pressure potentially, at least at the beginning, right? Seeing this case like Meyer and Turtle being both pendants, very high chance that we don't necessarily have to go in there, which means even though yes, this is a spoiler log race, you have in this case you have the log to we know where everything is, to go find the ice rod. 3 Turtle Rock keys, Meyer big key, Turtle Rock big key, medallions. It's just that many more things you have to potentially worry about, right? Maybe you don't have to in this particular case, right?
Yeah.
So that means you can go focus on finding other things quickly, more efficiently. Also, you can probably use some of that time and try and build a more efficient route, especially right. Okay, like on the one hand, right? No boots means that you probably get a little bit more time because you're not dashing every. On the other hand, your mistakes or your actions and your decisions are going to have much more impact.
Absolutely. And I'm kind of just scrolling through trying to see how bad this is going to be for him, but I don't think we may not have to go to TR, so that could be very good for these guys. This may not be so bad without boots. But
Dante,
you never know.
I enjoy the copium already. By the way, you talk about holy frick. So good thing we had blue mail, especially on jump side. We see in this case, the dead rocks normally do 1 wholehearted damage. The boulders always do 1 heart of damage. The fact that we were able to take 1 dead rock hit on Jim's side means that we're still living, which is actually, again, Death Mountain is called Death Mountain, for good reason. This is one of those times where maybe you can get screwed by enemy RNG, and again, it's not a mistake necessarily, but it's definitely going to be time loss if you have to restart your climb here.
Right, absolutely. Can we talk about how cool Tam's sprite is?
Dude, Tam, I think, has the coolest sprite. I think it's even like cool 90s bunny or something. I forgot what the name is, but it's got cool in the name.
I just didn't know Link had become a Giga gamer or anything, so with the shades on, so
all right, so
we got the book. I guess we're going to desert now, so that's kind of fun. I guess.
So we have literally everything for desert. We even have the Desert Palace small key apparently because we have the Desert Palace big key. We have the book. We have a lamp. Like, I guess something. I mean, we're gonna get a crystal out of this. So Dancy, can you spoil where the bows are? Just asking for a friend.
Oh, the bows. So ice and Saha. Okay, so I lied. I lied about potentially having to do TR. So if one's on the green pendant, one's in Ice Palace, that's going to be fun. But it's in the big chest. Wow. All right, I think we're going to be okay.
Okay, all right, okay.
I think we're going to be okay.
Okay, well, home this, in this case, when you kind of mentioned the Bose location, so that kind of, I mean, ice is, I guess, is only one fire rod away in theory of being able to dive into that place. I was saying, mentioned the Ice Palace Big Key. I guess we're gonna have to go find that somewhere else.
Yeah.
However, that being said, I don't think either Tam nor Jem are looking forward to diving Ice Palace on this set of equipment.
Yes. Now, funny enough, you mentioned Ice Palace Big. We're gonna need it, so be on the lookout for that. Don't ask me to pilot this and say what I would do, because even if I did, I would be wrong. As we see the mirror here, so I'm glad we got the desert small. That's actually like very critical. Mirror gonna be needed for swamp, as well as just potentially easier traversal. Once we get a hammer, I guess, or a hook shot, we do have that East Death Mountain access. Should there be anything over there, or Dark Mountain, but we need a Moon Pearl first, and something tells me that we're probably getting close to it.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, look, there's, speaking of, we couldn't probably get any closer right now than wherever Jem was as he finished up the sentence. You actually bring up the mirror. That's also, so certainly, it does seem like, in this case, to get our Dark World access, we had to have come over to Desert. In general, though, like the mirror, especially in this case where you have no boots, currently looking like maybe no flute, at least not for the time being. Any type of efficiency, again, you can gain when it's a boostless seed is going to help you significantly, because if you had to make, let's say, 2 trips over to like the Desert Palace area, Eastern Palace area, right? Think about how much you're walking. You're not running, walking, right? And so, and then you have to multiply that by 2, and I mean that is just free time, kind of given over to your opponents.
Yeah, and another thing you may see these runners doing, pumping is going to be something that they are potentially doing quite a bit in this seed. Now, the way you want to pump would be walking left and up. You want to press on the diagonals rapidly, because when the movement starts for Link going left or up, it starts on a 2-pixel movement instead of 1. And it's a weird cadence thing. It's a big thing in NMG, but it can actually, we're talking like very minimal frames. But added up over a long time here, as we see Big Key to Thieves, it can add up, for Jem and Tam.
Oh no, that is 100% correct. I mean, you're right. You kind of talk about frames, maybe not necessarily like mattering all that much in, I guess more in a localized setting, but over a course of the season. Right now, we still have to go beat 7 dungeons, or at least, right? Got to get our 7 crystals. We still got to do the GT. I mean, it's gonna be probably, my guess, probably around an hour. Kind of maybe a little bit less than, maybe depending on what happens. But I mean, over the course of an hour, that can certainly add up to 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Again, especially for spoiler log races, the margin of error or difference is really not that big. So if you can kind of get that a little bit extra, like that maybe you got a little bit more extra buffer, maybe going into GT climb, going into Ganon. It's really, kind of like your investment across the entirety of the seed for your end game.
Yeah, see, like, honestly, what I would really love about this mode is if, like, we could just, obviously we can't, but if we could just, like, press a button and listen to highlighting Jem, or Tam. Yeah, like listen to them like mid sentence. Oh, Jem's in a tough spot here.
Holy
now.
frick.
Tam is burning. Oh, Jem is playing with fire. Tam burning the pot heart just in case they may need that coming back. So that's something to keep an eye on. Because will that be respawned? I don't think that's respawned.
No, no. They will only respawn if Tam decides to
mirrors.
Take an early mirrors or takes an early exit from the dungeon. Correct. Yes. Good thing. Oh my gosh. So yeah, and we can actually see this case. Jem's playing it pretty safe, or at least like very very cautiously, because I mean, again, any type of death here in Thieves Town, especially. I mean, the good thing at least for him is that he's bombed over the attic wall, but you really do not want to restart, because again, there is kind of like the only way you can make up a death time is if your opponent dies too, and that's not really something you can control.
Now, something to keep in mind as we see $100 there in the chest. Jem decided not worth getting. These crickets that they are kind of pausing for, they are random when they start moving, but once they touch a wall, they will always move in a clockwise pattern. So you can so you can always guesstimate where they're gonna go.
That is...
But it gets a little chaotic once you get into the the attic room, because there's so many different walls and so many different directions they can start going, and be in weird spots. So it could be a little awful feeling. But we get a bottle with a B in Thieves Town basement.
Oh my gosh.
Jim playing this super safe.
Oh, Jem. Oh man, I'm so. You talk about some anxiety levels, right? I know that pilot spoiler. I think for all four people involved, right? The pilot because they're just frantically trying to put together the route on the fly. Again, like the pilot's time is. Basically, however much your runner is doing, in terms of execution, in order for them to give you the next directions. Runners who are, well, you see Jem and Tam going through Thieves Town on 3 hearts, Jem basically on 1-hit KO mode the entirety of the time. Yeah, it's extremely stressful right now.
Oh yeah. All right, so here we are in the blind fight. 2 phases done for Jim. Tam right behind. This is on a script. If you are good, Jim showing he is good, and that's what we like to see. We're gonna hopefully see the same thing here from Tam. Coming in here with 3 hearts feels a little scary, but if you've got a sword, most times if you just kind of do your normal thing, take a hit like Tam did there, that's totally fine, but gets the fight done. So that's 1 crystal apiece for both teams.
Yeah. No, it was actually really great to see, because in this case, especially, right, like, you mentioned that blind is a scripted fight. I think we've heard this throughout many, race, throughout the years. That being said, most people are probably used to the script with boots, like especially for the phases between like the second and third phases, right, where they kind of maybe some people use boots to try and set up your position for the third phase. If you're not used to it, if you're maybe not as well practiced, certainly phase 3 can go very, very off the rails very quickly. Both really glad in this case to see both Tam and Jem kind of survive this.
Yeah, and looks like we are turning in the blacksmith. This could be huge. We'll see if they actually get this item. This is potentially optional, FYI.
Okay.
All right, so Jim is gonna get it. If health is bad, this is a good grab because this is red mail.
I'm thinking health is bad. I mean, granted, it is like a pretty. It's actually like relatively cheap, for what it's worth, right? So it is what a couple. It's like 1 door in, 1 door out. So and given that we are in fact not seeing very many heart containers, at least so far, I do not blame these guys one bit. Again, this is also boostless. Maybe against maybe against a different opponent, maybe against a different set of I know the boots are coming type of thing. In this case, if they can't go fast or maybe a little bit out of their comfort zone, I do not blame them one bit if they want to try and mitigate some of that risk. We are we're going in the complete opposite directions though, where we're going to drop off the purple chest.
Yeah, I'm a little confused why we're going different directions, but if something's here in Skull Woods, this could be a decent time save for Potatoepouch. I guess we'll find out here in just a moment. Jim gonna turn in his purple chest and get his hammer.
Wow,
you love to see a hammer.
Yeah, okay, again, this is when we say thank you, pilots. I'm not sure where all the other stuff in Light World was, but for what it's worth, it didn't look that bad. However, the fact that we have a hammer on Purple Chest in the Dark World, yeah, really, really helpful here for pilots to be able to tell us where it is instead of searching for it blind.
All right, so Tam getting the cape and then kind of hesitating and leaving. So maybe cape is going to be required. We are going to do hype cave here on Jim's side. Going to get a master sword here. All at the NPC. You love to see it. There's a heart piece. I get that's like the first piece of help of anything. Okay, and a heart container.
We have a container, and we got a nice and bomb refills. Yeah, and this is one of the things that especially experienced pilots will really try and route some stuff because so it's again, as a pilot, you are kind of like frantically trying to just piece together something, right? And safeties don't necessarily make it, especially heart pieces, right? Because when you're searching for like health, like let me try and find a heart container for you, and you know what? 4 heart pieces do make another heart container, but it will take a little bit more, extra effort. But if they're really just kind of there for you on the way, like in this case, Hype Cave, I think we might have maybe there was something in Kakariko as well. They really, really add up for the scene, and especially for the more places we go visit, just like it's just kind of it's a very, very nice thing to be able to have. Let's say like that 4th or even 5th heart. Yeah,
for sure. So yeah, like I guess the biggest difference so far, you guys just joining us, biggest difference is Tam has gone up to Skull Woods with Purple Chest and foregone Hype Cave. Jim did not go up to Skullwoods for cape and has gotten a master sword plus an extra bit of help from Hype Cave. So honestly, that's the biggest difference so far. I think Jim was maybe rewarded a little bit for starting at Sank versus the house start that that Tam did. So like not very much difference here. We're still about what, 20 some seconds apart, maybe 30.
Yeah. Right, and yeah, I'm like it's definitely give or take because as you mentioned, ooh, okay, there's a very nice flute.
We got
Oh,
the pseudo boots.
Yeah,
that's what the pseudo boots are, right?
yes. If you include going over to like a menu and being able to only go for very specific locations, correct? Yes. We
Ooh,
also have a nice
mushroom.
mushroom. Okay. Memories of Game 1 from Retrons are coming flooding back. Let's hope in this case that we're not gonna fake powder or anything. I don't even know it was on this case on Magic Bat, but that was certainly something that at least 2 of the members out of the 4 in Game 1 of Retrons had to go do. Alright, but okay, so
Jim
yeah.
did have a little bit of an oopsie starting at the mountain, so extra save and quit gonna give a little bit of time back to Tam.
Yeah, and we actually, again, right, like the path at least, minus the Skull Wizard Curtain versus Hype Cave difference, seems at least to be fairly linear in terms of routing so far. And we actually kind of see like again, especially if it's linear seed and the route's going to be kind of similar, and the Tam and Gem aren't going to, maybe have too much difference in terms of execution. You really just got to make sure that you are, as focused as you can be.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, both activating their flute here at the 20-minute mark. We've got a mushroom. Will we go turn it in now? I will say, if I'm them, I'm doing that because it's basically free. All right, we're not doing it.
I guess not. Well, maybe not yet, because it actually looks like Gem is gonna go into the Dark World. So I'm assuming this is maybe gonna be the cape pickup for Gem because we're right here in Kakariko. Well, we're also not getting the mushroom turn in either on Tam's side. We are going to turn in the mushroom maybe on Tam's side.
Yeah, full divergence here. Okay, so they were going to Meyer, but now that kind of gives back that save and quit time we saw from earlier. So Jim gonna drop in to get his cape, I believe.
Yeah, it was probably gonna be a cape in this case. Okay, so it looks like maybe either something's on Bumper Ledge. Yeah, there should be something just only on Bumper Ledge. That's important. Okay, and this actually I'm not actually sure what would be faster because, so Tam walked the purple chest all the way up to Skullwoods, which is basically like the entirety of Village of Outcasts, like overworld-wise, and then Gem came over here and when they've activated the flute, basically still went into Skullwoods. It looks like no small key is available, or at least that's convenient. So looks like like the best way in order to get the item in the front, if you don't have an extra key, is just to drop down and then just save and quit out. Oh, well then, good thing we're going to turn this mushroom. The game, the game is Omega, but it's, how playable it is right now is kind of still up for debate because we don't really have boots.
Yeah, so not having, this was kind of brought up in chat, but not having the skull small, it just makes this super awkward. And that's true because we're getting that cape and here we are going to Bumper Ledge, and guess what we're going to get here, Clear Mouse? We're going to be getting our Fire Rod.
Oh my gosh.
We could not have beaten Skullwoods in one pass, which is kind of sad, but
it is, yeah.
The good news is that, like, obviously when stuff like this happens, it's kind of like, all right, well, I didn't get burned too bad by because I have a spoiler log, right? So
exactly, yeah, no, exactly. I mean, and depending on maybe what your tendencies are with Skullwoods, I did hear that there are a couple of opinions here and there related to certain parts of the world / dungeons. Some people, in Key Sanity, maybe you're more inclined to kind of dip in Skullwoods, but I mean, you always never really want to go into a location more than once, right? Ideally.
Yeah, you want to try to not, if at all possible.
All right. Well, let's talk about. Man, this is. Still maybe the jury's out on how difficult this thing is to route so far. Because at least it seems like the routes have been relatively similar. That being said, though, the runners have not had an easy time. Okay, boots are. Okay, we've already said that we obviously can't go fast and dash and etc. Maybe these guys have to kind of fall back to some of their bootsless strats. That being said, though, we have. 5 hearts.
Can we talk about the auto kill there? Like that beetle just like offed himself. Like Tam did nothing.
They were so intimidated by Tam's coolness. They could not take it anymore. In this case. Yeah, but this is actually kind of an interesting point, though, right? So Gem and very made it a priority, basically turn that mushroom as fast as they could. Looks like Tam.
Tam did as well. So that's Tam's master sword.
Oh, right. You're right. Yeah, but I goes like that, right. And so in this case, but Tam did not continue on to Hype Cave. So yeah, we're gonna actually see a pretty big sword difference. And that being said, Tam is also on blue mail 4 hearts. Sheesh.
Jim just threaded the needle between the 2 Ropas. I'm sorry. That's like insane.
Maybe this is what red mail does to you. Like once you have
get
red
confident.
mail. Yeah, well, you get confident or overconfident. I'm not sure which is, where that line is to be drawn, but at least they probably feel okay.
Oh, Tam a little low here on health. Does have red mail, like we discussed, so should be okay no matter what happens, but maybe wants to get the blue goo. Yeah. Oh no, Tam I think got the red mail as well.
No, Tam did not turn in the smith. Or sorry, did not grab the item. I think
okay.
Yeah, very interesting choice.
Oh, this is a little scary.
Oh no. We do also have all right, Tam did it. Yeah, I mean, you do have kind of like your choice in this case of weaponry to use. Oh my gosh, dude.
This fight is going poorly for Jim too.
Yeah. And I think maybe they actually spent a little bit of time. I'm not sure where that potion came from.
That was when they turned in. On both sides, they have a potion. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so 2 crystals apiece now.
My heart. Okay, okay, it's stressful, I think, for everybody involved, in my opinion, to watch these guys basically try and take down Mothula. I mean, obviously it's just personal opinion, but this is probably one of the hardest fights in spoiler. Because it's sometimes just be very out of your control, right? I mean, certainly yes, we got like Holster and Vitreous and Trinex, all of those like late game bosses. Very common to basically just end your route, right, or end your run because they just do so much damage and you just basically, it's very very dangerous. Mothula, you think should be able to, kind of depending on that, the enemy, the conveyor belt RNG, it can be very very painful.
All right, so get Ice Palace big. That's good.
All right, okay. That is gonna be our boat. So can we go to Ice Palace right now? Yeah.
Nah. We need Samaria for that, and I don't know where it's at. So.
Okay, that's okay. I guess.
Oh, JK. All right. Well, we get the full NMG experience today.
We get the full NMG. Do we really?
We do for
Ice Palace. Oh, Dancy, you got my hopes up for everything. Here we are, and I thought that Tam was gonna be able to pull out a magic bow somewhere.
I'm not thrilled about. I'm glad we're not worried about the bow. This in TR. That cane is not being grabbed at any point ever.
All right. Well, did you mention that right at the beginning of the broadcast that the TAM has been increasing by the boatloads for NMG? This is a perfect opportunity then to go practice some Ice Palace bomb jumping. And that's really, that the only way that they can really get through the dungeon efficiently, because it sounds like Kane is not within reason. We have no boots, so the only thing that we can really do is to kind of fall back on our trusty bomb sets.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so here we go into the fight for Tam. Does have enough and gets one cycle with that
really
Fire
nice
Rod.
fight.
Good favorable RNG and capitalizing on it. So we'll see if Jim does the same thing. Maybe they paid attention to their opponent's stream, given there's a little bit of time difference, but does react accordingly. And 3 crystals apiece. We're right here together.
Yeah, it looks great. Right, so Gem ended up taking an extra Fire Rod shot to light the torches, and then opted to not pick up the magic. I think Tam got a little bit of refill, but it looks like Gem ended up doing some traditional, or more commonly seen for Lemos too, right? You spin once, and then you end up with only 5 Fire Rod shots, which is great.
And I mean, here's the thing, Tam's, I think Tam's refill time was a little faster, or did Tam have a fully depleted magic bar as well?
It was a full magic bar usage.
All right.
This is actually interesting. So, okay, so yeah,
we're doing ice. It's ice time.
It is. So Tam ended up spending. We actually see like the very crisp rupee difference of exactly 160 between Tam and Gem. Ended up going to the potion shop to go and buy themselves an extra set of safety because they used their potion on Mothula. I mean, very very. I think prudent, pragmatic of Tam. I mean, basically any runner at this point. The potions are only there if you. They're only good for you if you use them. They're not good for you if you take an early death and not being able to pop it. So very, I mean, if it's going to be an extra, let's say like 5 seconds to keep you alive and basically not lose you 5 minutes, that's that's way better.
So to explain this one more time for everybody, just so everyone's on the same page, we are playing spoiler pilot keys. This means that it is a cooperative measure between between these teams with 2 players. One person has the spoiler log, the other person is playing and going to where. Ooh, a little bit of time loss here on Jim's side.
Yeah.
But basically, they're going to be reacting to where things are and planning a route accordingly. So it's kind of like spoiler, but with 2 people.
Yeah, and unlike kind of like the regular like solo pilot type of experience where you get a 15-minute study period, pilots don't get that luxury. They are going by the seat of their, I guess, pants in this case. I assume people are wearing pants these days. Yeah. But yeah, just kind of with the droppable, bombable floor up there in the regular, the first set of the NMG experience for Ice Palace, we're gonna see that the switch hit was not as successful for Gem. Good use of the knowledge for the prize packs though, because he certainly seemed like, so especially be having to do only bomb jumps. You really got to make sure that your bomb resource counter is actually pretty healthy. The fact that they figured out in this case that the Baris were in the bomb prize, or like maybe it was large variety. They got Gem got an 8-pack. So now we don't basically have to worry about.
I mean, you get down to the pin gator room and you don't need nothing. You ain't got to worry about nothing.
Yeah.
Just bombs for days.
Yeah. Well, talking about that too, we also apparently have no hook shot anywhere. So if you don't know how to kill that room, with no boots, with no hook shot, sometimes that room can be very, very slow.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's our bow. Off we go to potentially Pod or Eastern, but we're gonna need a big key before we do that.
It's true. And okay, well, I guess Pod we have 2 small keys. Not sure if we have to necessarily go beat that dungeon, but yeah, for Eastern Eastern for sure, we're gonna need that big key.
Yeah, money management is going to be key. We are going to Pod today. I don't know how deep. I won't look and see how deep. I want to see this fight here, both of these runners, but we are going. So Jim almost shooting the timing a little off here. Does get the spin. So gonna go for the 6-slash method and gets it done with 1 hit. Tam's turn, dropping in 8 fire rod shots, gets it done. Getting the goo out. Gonna utilize the fire rod. Gonna spin to the left for the easier doubling. And wow.
Yeah, very, very much approve of, in this case, Tam's method, just because it was Tam still on Master Sword. Gem did, I think, a really, really great recovery, because normally he just does like the 1 poke, right? Kind of like a textbook MG fight. The fact that he had a different timing out, because as you mentioned, like the very last shot, he was just slightly off, right? So in order for him to kind of fall back onto 6-slash, which I'm not sure the last time he really kind of even like practiced it or used it, but he did a phenomenal job basically surviving that. I mean, Colster fight even on red mail and 5 hearts, it is not going to be pretty if the puffs separate. But really well done on both Tam and Gem sides.
I got to give some credit to the pilots here. Both of them have done a really good job so far of getting this route pieced together. Both of them are kind of on the same path. The biggest difference has been kind of the hype cave play. But, I mean, a lot of stuff is right here, not getting distracted by it early. Tam threading both of those enemies. Jeez.
Okay, so what I have been told, and maybe not necessarily demonstrated by Gem, is that I have been told that it is free, apparently. You can just hold upright, but maybe you have I don't know when you're supposed to start holding upright. But Tam obviously demonstrated that it is
always,
it's very
just always
doable.
hold upright.
All right.
All right, so we did see Swamp Small, another piece of health. You love to see that.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. I mean, you kind of think this is also, to some extent probably showing some amount of respect to their respective opponents. Well, I guess maybe it's not necessarily like the most convenient to come out here for, for Saha, but sometimes, depending on the situation, that extra heart container can really be crucial, right? Especially in, I won't say even like the early game, you just kind of say, in this case, do you really want to go to Thieves Town with only, like 3 hearts? If that 4th heart would have been probably very very tremendous in terms of sanity and just like and safety. But you know, if you don't think your opponent's gonna go there, kind of sometimes you just gotta take that extra risk, right? And just do your best.
All right, so shooter room we have. Key to Eastern. We're starting to wind down. We need to get. I guess we can bypass the Tower of Hera big key. Should that be the case, we kind of just need a GT big. You know, I mentioned that Kane was never going to be found. So we just need to find where GT big is going to be and our hook shot. And I think we'll be theoretical
I
go
mean,
mode.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at our crystals and dungeons so far. So we do have the Swamp Small, as you mentioned, or that we just ended up picking from Saha, and we got the flippers, and all we gotta do is find that hook shot in order to beat it. We got the Eastern Palace Big Key for Eastern. If we got the hook shot, assuming there's nothing good in Hera, we can do it basically right before we enter GT. So I think I think we're good to go. So actually, that being said, the Kane is not going to be in the picture, I guess, for this one. Does that mean that we are potentially not going to have the Kane of Samaria for the GT climb?
That is correct.
Well then, how well versed do you? Oh, yeah, okay, on the ledge chest. Yeah, I was gonna ask then, like, how well versed do you think Jem and Tam are for not using the Kane of Samaria for like the whiz ropes upstairs?
They'll be fine. I mean, both of them are fine.
Yeah, you can actually even see, right? Like, so we kind of saw where the bow was, right? It was in the Ice Palace big chest. So in theory, like, if you really wanted some maybe like extra safeties, you actually probably could come over to the pod eastern area, and just like and just come back here once you have the bow, right? Everything was kind of here in the front for pod. Eastern Palace Big Key, right, and the hook shot, and then of course you can probably maybe come back and beat Eastern second time, but in order to be more efficient, right, we unfortunately, had to basically go into Ice Palace first. Hookshot would have been, very, very nice as a safety item, an offensive item, for Ice Palace.
Yeah, not getting anything here in Eastern, it looks like. So we are just going straight to the boss. So I mean, at this point, I'm kind of looking. I will say that the GT Big Key is kind of on the path. So we are going to see, this is basically like operating if you were in Go mode. We're just going to see a lot of execution here. We've already got 4 crystals. We've got 5, 6, and 7 coming up, I think, pretty rapidly. So no mistakes from either side. Yeah. That's what we want to see. No mistakes.
That's exactly true. Yeah, and the fact that, so at least in terms of safety and comfort, we got Temper Sword, Red Mail, and 6 hearts. It looks like maybe a potential 7th. Who knows when this case what made up being found here on Gemstone. We've got 5 hearts, blue mail, Master Sword. Okay, so given that we're not gonna go find the silvers, I'm hoping that Tam certainly will at least go pick up the sword from Hype Cave, maybe before Swamp. That could be something. But like, you do not really want to be in a position, to be on Master Sword serverless going into the Ganon fight. Especially no lamp, no. Yeah, no lamp, especially if your opponent also has tempered.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's crystal 5. So, and then Tam.
Yes, Jam together. The combination it's the portmanteau of Gem and Tam. Yes, I approve.
We'll kind of know exactly where runners are going to be shaking up here. Now, Tam's probably going to follow in the same path and get their tempered. And then we'll kind of know what the gap is going to be, I think, going forward, because at that point we will have both done everything that the other has.
Right, yeah, but it actually looks like, at least the overall investments, that Gem had made, or to get Temper Sword early, in order to pick up the red mail, did end up probably maybe ended up paying out in terms of investments, right? Just because you have, I mean, the sooner you can get the Temper Sword, the best offense is the best defense is a good offense type of situation, right? Even though Gem did kind of struggle a bit on the Mothula fight, I think part of it maybe is just bad RNG, right? It's just more difficult to handle, but it would have been even harder to handle if he had Master Sword versus Tempered. All
right, so there is... All right, Tam not going to the back. Gonna try
Yeah, well,
and
you gotta,
save.
that's right. I mean, sometimes, you mentioned this case that, especially GT Big Key is just kind of on the path, right? And then maybe there's not gonna be too much other than, in different, like, routing diversions. It's just gonna be kind of pure execution. That, if it's only a hard container in the back at this point, Tam, I think just maybe, can't necessarily afford to spend any more extra time getting safeties that are not essential.
All right, gonna see the Specky clip here. This is not NMG.
That's true. We do not have the full NMG experience. I'm fine though if you tell me that the part of the NMG experience can be removed if we don't have to go see any drained water.
So yeah, we're being told, someone in chat said 51-second lead right now for Jim. So, I mean, if you're Jim, what you want to keep doing is keep the pressure on. Just don't make any, especially if your pilot is telling you where your opponent is. Now, keep in mind, the pilots and the runners both are allowed to watch this restream. They're allowed to watch their opponent's stream. It's not very characteristic in Randomizer due to, it being, randomized. But in spoiler log, you are allowed to watch. So, you can kind of know and tell your runner, hey, look, don't be panicking. You got a decent lead. Meanwhile, on the other side, Tam's probably hearing, okay, they are ahead. Just keep doing it. We're going to see if they maybe make a mistake. Do your best. You never know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, so while we don't want anything bad to happen either for Tam nor Jem, but that being said, right, you do in this case have potential pitfalls that's there along the way, because right now, as you kind of mentioned, like the pilots are probably for the most part done, other than they're there kind of maybe giving race updates, morale boosts, right, for your runner, and making sure that they stay on on focus, maybe in this case like to make sure mine in this case like where the GT Big Key is, but like yeah, you probably like the biggest like brunt of this is going to be certainly still based on the runner. Ooh, look at that heart piece collection, right? We ended up getting a 7th heart on Jump side.
Oh yeah, I wonder if that was intentional or if it was just happenstance. But either way, you love to see it. Tam coming in hot and heavy to Phelps Swimway, and we'll see. We'll see if they can have a slightly faster Argus fight or on par.
And it's difficult, right? Without boots or anything like that. So
yeah, the old tried and true hook slash, hook slash, hook slash. Not hook shot, but hook slash.
That's right. Yeah, actually one of the biggest reasons in this case in order to pick up Tempered Sword, right, because versus Master Sword, if this is really kind of your only option, 1 slash instead of 2 is going to save you, I think, roughly twice the amount of time, is so I've heard.
Yes. All right, solid fight there from Tam, and that is going to be their 6th crystal as well. So off to Tower of Hera.
Okay.
For both
Jim Jim did not get large talk. That would have been a very sad conversation. Memories of like someone, maybe you're trying to, run an errand, right, and go through the checkout counter, and that's the person, like the cashier, just keeps wanting to talk to you, and then you're just, especially if you're hurry, you don't really have much patience for that conversation. Not based on personal experience whatsoever, don't worry. Alright, that's a very nice Herapot setup, and executed on Gem side. Looks like actually Tam is going to do, actually going to take a slightly different route to presumably go into Dark World here and then mirror right in front of Hera and then do GT.
Yeah. Just, gotta manage Moldorm.
Oh,
I always get shaky when runners use the hook shot inside of here. It's always very awkward because the arena is smaller than Moldorm 2's arena. But that's going to be Crystal 7, so we just need GT Big Key. And
you just say it's kind of on the way?
It is kind of on the path. So, you're not going to have to detour too far. So not a lot of time, not a lot of opportunity, I don't think, for, time to be made up here.
Okay. Do you know what else is on the path, Dante? Like directly on the path?
The boots.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the boots are in fact on the path.
I'm getting them. I'm 100% getting them. You get the dash in the room after Moldorm 2, and you get the dash right before Aga. I'm doing it.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And you get the poke dashes on Ganon, please. Like, it's a no-brainer.
I feel like though you have to bonk at least once just to tell yourself, oh, there's
No.
our GTP key and hookshot game. No, I mean then you're gonna think that you had a completely boostless seed if you don't bonk, you know?
Maybe you were just a god gamer and you didn't
Okay,
bonk
that's
ever.
true.
Include like you just never you skip bonk rocks, you know? That's like that seems to be the new thing people do. So like, you know, you did that and you didn't do libraries.
You know what? You can only skip these early game checks. One, if you don't have a pilot to tell you where to go, but also two, if you think you've saved enough time in escape where you can afford to make these types of skips. All right, I'm just saying.
Possibly. All right. Well, that is go mode. One thing. Well, I don't want to say that just in case they're watching, but pretty much in item and key go mode for the most part.
For the most part, huh? What else could we possibly be missing here?
Well.
Because we already in this case know in this case where the silvers are. You did mention they're on green pendant Trinex, which is beautiful.
Yeah. So let's spoil where Samaria is just for you guys, because I said we're never getting it. Samaria is in Mini Helmasaur room, so it is way on up there.
Oh, I see. Mini Helma, huh? Okay, could we use Samaria for anything like can have any potential use at all?
No. I mean we don't need double spins on Ganon.
Yeah,
so, oh, hey, look, there's a key. I don't know what that is.
That is a big key. Maybe to Turtle Rock, maybe to Mire.
Oh, that's Swamp. So.
Swamp? Okay, all right. Yeah, kind of interesting in this case, where I guess even if you're playing the seed by yourself, right? The fact that Samaria is here in GT, you know, actually kind of means that you will actually never have to go dive into Mire or Turtle Rock for that matter. So.
Well.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe Mire. Yeah.
Maybe
but,
Mire.
Yeah.
I kind of thought we were gonna go to Mire for a second, but I also didn't check it very well. There was a couple keys, so I wasn't sure if we were gonna need them at that time.
Yeah, and especially in this case, right? When you first kind of open the block, you don't really know what you're necessarily what you're targeting for. Sometimes when you especially see in the early game, you're going to Kakariko, you know, Blind Sut's got 5 things. You see a pendant Turtle Rock key, maybe, you know, or like a pendant Mire key. May as well just go pick it up because it's only gonna be an extra, I don't know, 2 to 3 seconds picking it up, that extra thing, versus like you to go all the way back, right? Even to like Blind Sut or the well, it's not worth the time difference. May as well go pick it up now and then. If you don't need it, you don't need it later. You know, if you need it, you know, you've done the great thing.
All right, Tam doing the safe strat here as well. Jim taking a couple of hits. If you are rooting for Tam. Now, let's see, does Jim have another goo?
Yeah,
or
I was even thinking about this. He didn't use anything so far. So that being said, like if he has a blue potion, which I think he does, right? Like initially. So then he still should have it.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a little bit of a pressure situation. Now, yeah, you're in the lead, but you know, your team is still on the chopping block. You know, you make a mistake, like, oh gosh.
Like G5 right here. This red mail sometimes still
Let me shut up.
Yeah. I mean, so I think the red mail, oh my gosh. Okay, alright, this is a great opportunity. Great opportunity to use that blue potion, really to be able to slow fight. This, by the way, also when your pilot is also kind of saying like, yo, dude, just use the potion. No,
bro, use the potion. You're 3 rooms ahead. Like, yeah, but this is still close. Absolutely. Off we go to Wizrobes 1. You mentioned it here, Clearmouse. He's got a bow out. This is like Lanmo. Yeah, he missed.
Yeah, that's right. Just like Lanmo. That's the Lanmo experience.
All right. So Tam is low on health too, down to 1 heart, and I'm not sure if they've actually got a goo. They do not.
They do not. No.
Oh, the fairy!
The fairy! Oh, they just have to get this. Oh, Tam! Oh my Tam!
Oh my God!
That hook shot! Holy frick! Tam with the my God, the coolest reflex.
I have never. I've never seen that, and it worked. Unreal.
It did. The amount of timing for that hook shot to get the iframes in. Tam not only survived, but he also got the fairy into boot. Holy.
That's one of the biggest Pog moments I think you're ever gonna see. Holy cow.
Oh. What kind of reaction do you think if you're like the pilot at this point? Either watching your runner, you know,
I don't want to talk about it. I would have fallen out of my chair. I almost did it here, and I'm not even in this race.
Yeah. All right, Jem is literally one room apart from getting the boots. Go mode.
Can you believe? I mean, granted, like we talked about, like we didn't touch Meyer, we didn't touch TR, and we barely touched Pod, but like we're literally, under 50 minutes at the top of GT.
Yeah. This has actually been no, it's a very, very great. I mean, just a testament, right, to how how good Tam and Jem are. Certainly big kudos to Korik and Magno basically trying to put together this route, because it actually didn't really look super. And you know, again, like the fact that they were basically on, you know, kind of like even routing parity, basically the entirety of the time, really kind of goes to show you that, all right, you know, if you come up with a bad route, you're gonna really be punished. And the fact that they're kind of together, I think, means that they end up figuring like the route out pretty well.
All right, Aga
and finally be able to use those boots.
I mean, you don't really use them in this room.
They're mentally comfortable, okay? Like, I'm just happier. I think I can get myself a better Aga 2 if I have boots on my feet. I'm sure maybe that's what Jem is, you know, hoping to think about this fight, though. As maybe not gone as well as Jem had really hoped. That was a lot of cycles. I don't know how many that was. All right, thank you.
All right, so the pressure's still on. I mean, like, let's be real. Ganon sometimes is a formality, but pressure again and low health. You know, you don't really have room for. You have room for like maybe one mistake in Jim's shoes. Now, if you make a torch glitch mistake, that could actually be the game at this point. So Tam needs to keep their foot
very
on the gas, so to speak. Here, keep the pressure on. Don't back down just because you're behind going into this fight.
Mm-hmm. That is 100% correct. Right, and you know, at this point, nothing. It is just very difficult to kind of make up this time gap, basically. You know, against anybody, not necessarily just like especially Jem or Tam. So you are kind of hoping in this case that if something's going to happen, you do need your opponent in this case to also make a mistake at this point. And if they make a mistake, you need to make sure that you are just right there on them. You know, there's no reason to take, in this case, like the extra time, kind of give it to you and kind of throw it away.
Yeah, and Jim's got the lamp out. I think he's going to play this safe, not worrying about, like, you know, the Omega speed from Fire Rod. But with Quick Swap, it doesn't matter quite as much.
Jem just needs to survive and not fall off the platform and get Torch Glitch. Yeah, definitely see the lamp kind of coming out here. Very, very understandable, you know, as Tam's dropping down into Ganon. So again, they just have to stay focused, and at this point, certainly Jem's race to lose. But in that case, you know, it's also Jem's race to earn to win.
Oh yeah, sure. Now Tam into phase 2. Meanwhile, we're up to, I think, 6 now. No, check it. I think that's either 5 or 7, based off the 2 at the beginning.
Okay.
I know I can math. I know it in my heart.
This is why you just don't math on stream. It's just safer that way. All right, we're looking to be some pretty good triples though, at least so far on Jem's side. Meanwhile, Tam is almost gonna go almost into phase 4.
Oh, with Ganon blowing up for Jim. And let's see, sword up. So cutscene is activated. He should be able to cross the bridge, no issue. And get your GGs in chat. This is probably going to give Jim the win. And it does. So that is going to put Washed back, evening the series 1-1 against Potatoepouch. We're going to game 3.
Yeah. Big GG's to Jem. And of course, Korik for being the pilot in all this. You know, I certainly do not want to discount any of Korik's piloting abilities. I do think maybe the biggest asset in this case was to calm Jem down and not have him go tilt, because there were no boosts for 50 minutes. Yeah, meanwhile, the Tam's almost finished up here. But I mean, like, they obviously certainly ran like a, you know, like a great run. Just, well, they walked a great walk for about 50 minutes of this. All right, that is sword up for Tam. Big your GG's out in chat for game 2, and then we're gonna see a game 3 with these 4 relatively soon. Speaking of us, we are joined by today's victors. It might be Pureit, you know, but Jem and Korik. GG's, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you.
All right, so I gotta ask, Korik, how hard did you have to talk Jim down after you told him where boots were?
I mean, I think I just said that he's not getting them. Like I don't know if I said the specific location,
Okay.
but Jem did say, "Can I just forfeit?" Which I told him no, but he held right as hard as he could. He did a good job of holding right.
I did. Dude, I was so excited when we finally got the hook shot. Finally, I could like do anything while walking.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, like the early game seemed to be a little chaotic. As far as like piecing together, getting all the desert stuff. Not missing the small key. I don't even remember where you guys picked that up. But
it was on Old Man, so it was free. It kind of sucked a little bit because I like saw that the sword was in Dam, and then I already had seen that how to get the other glove, but then I saw that there was a glove in Agena, so I'm like, oh, just do Dam to Agena, and then we'll get the other one. And then I realized after that we had to go to Desmond. Crap. But that was like the only thing that I feel bad about in the route, and that's like super super early. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, overall, I mean, you guys, I'm not sure how much you guys watched, but there was very little divergence. It was kind of almost, the exact same thing. The biggest divergence, and I'm not sure, I think this may have played a part into you guys' lead. Tam decided to go to Skull Woods with Purple Chest, drop in, get the cape, save, and quit. They skipped on Hype Cave for a bit, and then basically we're at a -1 sword level, basically almost the entire run until going into Swamp. That's when they got their Tempered. So, kind of proving, Tempered can save more time in some regards than Boots can.
yeah, when I was looking at that part of the route, I was like, all right, it is kind of out of the way, but like we want that Tempered Sword before we are going to be doing Swamp. I just felt that it was going to save time to route it in then. So, I just ate it, and I think it might have played a part. Tempered, we have Tempered for Ice, Tempered for Skullwoods. Those are really important things.
Mm-hmm.
I think it matters even more in bootless too, because I don't know, it's just like brainless holding right. So if you have like the brainless equipment too with red mail and tempered, like as a runner, you just don't even need to execute anymore. You just like hold forward.
Are you saying we can replace you with a bot?
Pretty much.
Okay. All right. Take noted. I don't know. But no, I mean, I think execution-wise. No, I mean, I think all right, like all no boost stuff aside, like it just seemed like you guys like the combination of your decisions to get whatever safeties you had though, like also I think really helped your survivability, right? Especially on Mothula, it did not look like you had the best of times, but it seemed like Temper Sword and Red Mail, everything put together like really helped you.
Yeah, bootless Mothula can just be awful because you can't do the poke dash, and the poke dash is hugely powerful when you're if you learn how to fight Mothula, but otherwise you're just at the whim of the RNG.
Yeah, if I had magic, I could have shot some fire shots to try and make it move down, but I didn't have any, so yeah.
And I believe Tam is going to not be able to join for an interview today, but Magno, I think, is going to be coming in here, and there's Magno. GG's.
Magno, GG's?
GG's.
And GG's
Yeah,
Tam.
GG's Magno. And Tam.
Yes, and Tam.
So yeah, I heard you guys already mentioned the swords. Yeah, that was kind of on my part. I was hoping it wouldn't be so huge in the end. Like if we get it before Swamp. I mean, if the moth cooperates, you can get a really fast hammer moth, but our moth wasn't so good. Like it was hugging the spikes and stuff. And
yeah, same.
I just thought we get a potion for Cold Stare anyway. But I think Tam had to use their potion on Mothula, so that extra or that second trip to the potion hut wasn't planned. But yeah, it's fine. It's that sword, and the glove in desert bugs me a little bit because I didn't see it wasn't necessary at the point we got it. Like we could have combined it later with the Moon Pearl and other stuff from Desert. But
Didn't you
overall,
need the glove to get to the mountain, or am I forgetting something? What was it
And
like the
the-
glove?
there was a glove in the waterfall with flippers on.
Yeah, you could have gone
okay,
back
okay,
first,
okay.
Yeah.
Or we could have fluted there. I think we walked all the way. Yeah, so one of the gloves wasn't necessary. So yeah, could have skipped one, I think.
I think you still needed to get it because the hammer was behind the mids, and I mean, you don't want to go to
right.
pod.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
Yeah.
But you can go to the waterfall first, and then go up the mountain and get your book, and then go to desert, which that I didn't see.
I was
in time.
thinking about this. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you could have done that to save a trip to desert, which is a lot, but I think we both maybe did the extra trip.
So the first time I looked into Gem stream was when we were going for the Fire Rod and Mothula, and I was like, dude, we're a little bit ahead. Nice. And then I saw, oh, you already have the Tempered Sword. That's so good for the bosses, the upcoming bosses. And I saw like the little tiny bit of lead we had, like just vanished by this sword. Yep.
I saw you guys also didn't get red mail off of the smith. Was that intentional?
That was just a little miscommunication.
Oh, okay.
I just said it once very much earlier, and then I forgot to tell him when it was the turn in time, like the purple chest time. And then Tam was already mirroring, and then it's gone. It's gone. We don't need it.
Well, we're back even, so it's going to be game 3 for you guys. I believe, yes, Potatoepouch, you guys are the higher seed. So
yes.
any thoughts into what game 3 is going to be, or is that something to be determined?
That is to be determined, but at least I can say so much. It won't be me, because I did the first 2. And I believe it won't be Korek.
Correct. I'm done. I get to watch game 3, so.
Yeah, I'm just suggesting no logic. What do you think, Dante?
I mean, I could allow it. I think it might be the wrong league if I do, but
it's okay. I won't be thinking about logic anyway. It's the same thing.
So it'll be what Jim and Ak versus
Brogor and Tam
and Brogor. Okay, all right, that's gonna be exciting.
Yeah,
So got a little bit of time. Obviously, you guys kind of knocked the first 2 out pretty quick here, so we'll be looking forward to seeing that game 3 pop up on the schedule.
Yep. Yeah, GG's again. That was a fun race. I was just a little bit sad that we didn't need anything. Like, look at the collection rates, 51 and 45. Like, there was no pod key needed. There no Turtle Rock keys. Didn't even touch the Medallion dungeons or whatever. GT Big also just on the way. No Zamaria. Late boots. Yeah, this was a quick, weird one. But yeah. Thanks for the restream. Clearmouse, Dante, Kefka, all the people involved. GG's to Gem and Korek. It was a fun one.
GG's.
Yeah, GG's, man.
Thanks for the restream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you guys
thanks,
so much. Thank you guys for racing. Sorry about the boots. Next time. Next time.
It's okay. This was actually perfect because I'm about to go to bed and now I'm very sleepy. So
Perfect.
I'm well prepared.
Yeah. All right. Well, so thank you so much, Kefka. I mean, our amazing tracker. I mean, did basically everything for us. Yeah, everything was accurate. So thank you so much for staying up so late, basically on Sunday evening to help us. And yeah, thank you so much. Someone think it was Dante. Was a blast.
Yeah, thanks, Clear Mouse. This was super fun. Like I said, very much looking forward to seeing how this series plays out in Game 3. Okay. We do have a lot of fun races coming up, in this league playoffs. So you do want to check out those. I believe we got a couple. One's going to be here. I don't know if it's on this channel or I'm trying to pull it up. Clear Mouse, if you've got it.
This is the 6:10 p.m.
Yeah, 610. That's actually going to be on SG2 or Speed Gaming 2. That's going to be in the Open League. That's going to be Retrance race. Obviously co-op as well, since we are all co-op in the playoffs this year. And 9 and 910, we've got a race on SG4 and SG2 respectively. You're going to see some more spoiler pilot there, as well as more Retrance. So if you want to see some chaos, I would say get following those channels and be ready for them. But yeah, Kefka, thank you again, and Clearmouse, thank you again. I think that's going to do it for us here, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah. See ya. Have a great day or night.